So the next thing is writing some melody. So I'm going to create a little track here. Again, do the same thing. Let's do a 4 on our length. And you probably at this point, stop and work on your drums for a little bit. But if you're ready, let's go ahead and work on some melody. So for melody, what I actually recommend is that you copy your chords and paste them over here. And then let's rename this melody 1. Okay. And I'm going to change the color to so that I don't confuse it. I should probably change this one also. There we go. Okay, so melody. It's already 4 bars in length because I just copied that chord progression over. And the reason why I bring the chord progression over is because with melody, and a lot of times you kind of like making something that works over these chords, and so it's good to just kind of bring them over, just like we did with the the bass line. So I'm going to change my grid to 1/8. Again, give me some more space to work with. And the melody generally is going to be kind of, just like the bass was like sitting below the chords, the melody is usually going to be sitting kind of on top of the chords. And so that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to just choose some notes to start with, right? So bass usually starts on roots, so usually the melody, I say don't start on a root, even though you totally can, but I just think it's good to maybe mix those ideas up a little bit. So we've got 2 other chord tones we can choose from. We've got this one in the middle called the 3rd, or we got the one on top called the 5th. I'm going to go with the 5th to start, okay? Ooh, that's an annoying sound. I might have to go back and change that. So I'm going to just pull out a note, and that's going to be my starting point. And you can write these a lot like bass lines, meaning like if you kind of choose your starting pitch and then think about like what note maybe you want to be on by the time you get to the next chord. Like maybe the F sharp's got like a G sharp and a C in it, or I'm sorry, just the F has got a G sharp and a C, and so you can see I'm already on G. Like, what if I did the G sharp up here? That might do something, but that doesn't move very much. It kind of stays around the same. So if I was gonna make this melody interesting, I might want to like move it down and then back up into that. Or I could choose this G sharp that's down here, and then my main task would be like, getting us down there so that it makes sense. So I'm gonna say let's go with this low one. And then at a midpoint here, let's make sure we sync up with another chord tone. So we've got G already covered. Let's use this D sharp in there somewhere. So I'm going to find that right there. Okay. So again, I'm just trying to sync up like these midpoints just to make sure that at those key moments that the melody has something to do with the chord. It relates to it. And then in between, I can do a lot of these different things. I could just do those passing tones just like we're writing a walking bass line almost, right? I want to leave some empty space too. You don't want to just like fill up everything totally full because it could be cluttered. But so that gives you an idea just about how to kind of start with melody, right? And then if I push play and listen to all these together. Cool. I think it works. So I'm gonna leave it. If you played one of those things and you're like, "Ooh, that note didn't sound good," I'm gonna switch it to that one. These ones should be good because they're chord notes, so they should sound right. And then I think here would be a good place to actually just kind of pause out for a minute, right? And then we get to my final chord, or this 3rd chord, and let's say I want to pull in, maybe the A sharp. That's going to be right here. And this is cool because then we can just like maybe do a leading note that goes into that, right? Let's make this part a little bit busier. Let's incorporate all of the chord tones on this one, D and F, right? So let's come up here and grab our F and the D there. Something like that. That might work. Let's see what that does. Love it. I'm gonna move these 2 though. I'm digging it. So let's, I'm going to switch back to my arrow tool and get rid of these chords now. And I like staying on this A sharp on the end there. It kind of helps tie that in. But I want to get back to that, you know, kind of maybe smooth that out. So I'm going to do kind of a walking line into that. Let's do like... I think we're good there. So I'm definitely, like I say, we're still in this kind of spitball phase, but you can see how I just, you know, I just move and I don't really like wait for inspiration to strike. I just follow the rules and kind of see where it takes me. Now, I am definitely going to change this instrument out, or at least make some adjustments to it, because it's kind of annoying to me. I think it's too loud, you know, so I'll probably turn it down, and maybe add some effects or some other things like that. But I'm not going to worry about that right now, because what I need to do right now is just get some ideas in place, right? So that I definitely have something working that I can work with later. And then, like I say, in the last step, I'm going to go in and kind of finesse some of these things and fuss over the details. But at least I know now I've got drums that work with my bass, that works with my chord progression, and a melody that works with all of them, right? And if you have time, I would recommend that you make at least 2 of these, because it's going to make your final project a lot easier when we start transferring these ideas over. All right, so go through that process twice. Hopefully you got your 2 chord progressions, so you'll do the same thing with chord progression 2 maybe. And then I'll see you in the next step, where we're going to start putting in all the pieces together and fussing over the details on the next page.